I'm Ahmed, okay, working as a product manager for System Platform and OMI, working with Ernst Van Vick. Anyone knows Ernst? Product manager for System Platform and OMI. I'm kind of helping him. Okay. And also responsible for Vision AI as a product, separate product called Vision AI. Also Pierre will gonna join us soon. He's product manager for Teamworks. Anyone use Teamworks?
I've seen demos. I've not used.
How are you, Wajih, first? How are you? Good.
Yeah, I know it's part of our license. We haven't used it.
Okay. I'm just gonna make sure, to introduce ourselves first, because we are new to the team, then we will continue.
Are you part of the operations control?
It's included in Flex licensing, I know that. Teams, yeah.
You have Teamworks, you have reports, you have advanced analytics, Connect. So there is a lot of Connect stuff. When Pierre comes back, I will make sure. This session is more about the unified namespace, the concepts of the unified namespace, and maybe, we can redo the earlier session, some part of it if you are interested, because,
Yeah, I'm not sure it's part of, you have operations? Or
No, we don't, but I mean, that's what we're looking forward to now, like, it's based off the number of users you have, so.
Yeah, that's how Flex is also. We just have to tell how many users and then everything is unlimited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if, like, that is part of the operations control.
so just a question I like to always, to start my presentation with system platform and touch, which product of AVEVA you're using?
I'm on 2023 system platform. Yeah.
System platform? What do you
We're
know?
both 2023 system platform. We're on the R2, I think.
Manage the InTouch?
We have InTouch also.
Okay.
And, localized InTouch in some places that we're trying to upgrade. Migrate over. Yeah.
I'm system integrator, so I've been using from 2014 till like now InTouch and system platform both.
Okay. But do you mind if I ask you more InTouch or more system platform? Or?
I mean, you can ask me personally, but.
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
No, it's okay. What about the?
Also, system integrators
Okay.
use both InTouch and system platform.
Okay. So the unified namespace is kind of more for the system platform.
Yeah.
So it's this concept is more applied really for the system platform and for the industries that requires more scalability. So it's very good for the scalability and having both enterprise side and the IT side. That's what really, bring the values of the unified namespace. So that's why I'm mentioning why InTouch or system platform. So just to understand the room, that's for reason. Here is Pierre. There was a question. Yeah.
Oh, what was the question?
Which product you are on, or what's your ownership?
Oh, AVEVA reports, AVEVA teamwork, and sharing responsibilities for historian and insight. Yeah.
Okay. And also in the license we have some advanced analytics. That's right. That was the question, or?
Yeah. So the question was like, if this is part of the operations control, does it like unified namespace and teams? AVEVA teams work? Does that come with operations control?
AVEVA teamwork, yes. Unified namespace, it's not a product per se. It's a concept. It's an architect. It's like an architecture, right? But that it can definitely be enabled by operations control.
Yeah.
And that's what we did at the.
Prove it.
You guys missed the session we just had on Prove It, but that's what we did is we were able to show that you can use operations control to enable a unified namespace architecture.
Sure.
If you have operations control, you don't need to pay anything extra for to utilize this.
Yeah, I mean, because this is not a product, right? So
This
you
is-
can use operations control in a unified namespace architecture.
Okay.
Yeah.
Once I go with the concept, and maybe, it will not take long. This session is not like for the whole hour. Maybe we can show the last session a little bit,
Yeah,
or
we
some
can show,
pillars.
yeah.
Okay. This will be helpful for the. Okay. So I think 5 minutes is okay. Okay. Again, welcome to our session for the Unified Namespace. My name is Ahmed, and he's Pierre. What about to see right now is the concept of the unified namespace, or the key concepts, how to implement what is unified namespace. This is what is the session about. Okay, as we all know, this is the agenda. It will have some introduction to the unified namespace, one sample architecture for the namespace as example. Okay, then what the tool that help us, or what features in system platform can be helpful when you trying or planning to apply the unified namespace in your systems. So this is the agenda for this session. Okay, so first of all, what is the unified namespace? When unified namespace, like it's a buzzword, it's been onto the LinkedIn, for like a couple of months or almost 1 year. Okay, what do you think about what is the unified namespace? Is it a concept? How to apply it? What is it? So it's basically, it's give you the architecture or the structure. Okay, it's based on the semantic hierarchy and the business hierarchy. It's the structure. Okay, simply, and that's the like the definition. It's the one structure and single place that has all your data, live data in. So all your businesses, like stakeholder or systems, when connect to it at a certain time, you will find the values that is needed. You don't store it, but the values are there. What this means, it's a single source of truth. It's the current state of your business right now. Okay, like events, layer, customer relationship, ERP, you think, of everything. Think of it as like a database with too many rows, all the rows required for the system with different accessibility. And it's the hub. And it's considered nowadays, it's like the stepping stone or the first step for digital transformation. That's why actually this session, we kept, talking about it, improve it, and we are saying, no, unified namespace need to be like a key concept session by itself. This is the what. How to implement the unified namespace is by defining the architecture, okay, which is mainly most of the people doing it by ISA 95. Okay, per ISA 95. There is another IEC standard as well. But here in North America, what we've seen is just ISA 95 Part A, Part 2. Yeah, so that's the first one. That's the architecture semantically, you put the architecture there, and making sure that the naming convention is consistent for all the entire enterprises and control system together. So that's what's the unified namespace about. Oh, I'm going the other way. Sorry. Okay. How it's valuable? What is the benefits or what is needed? Okay. The control systems are working on the Purdue model, which is point-to-point or each layer speaking to the upper layer. Okay, which ends up giving a lot of inconsistency because and a lot of data silos, because each layer is speaking or taking its name conventions, and it will be hard to talk to the other one. For example, like the sensors, when it's talking to PLC, we have a lot of effort to bring them on. Okay, for the MES to talk to the HMI SCADA, again, you need to massage the data between or play the middleman. ERP is the same. So how is the unified namespace help with that? So instead of doing point-to-point data integration in the old manner, and having this mesh between the systems, okay, between ERP, SCADA, everyone is like talking to multiple points, why not to have a centralized brokered hub called unified namespace in between, holding all the data for all the systems? So that will give what? All the systems will be connecting, okay, accessing the data that they need, and if needed to access the other data, okay, and you're playing with the access. So this is help with the democratization of the data. So anyone can see as long as you have the access. For example, for the enterprise people, can look what is happening in the control side if needed to take better decision, okay? And at the same time, the people on the floor, okay, if wanted to access to some ERP data or what is the decisions, it's bi-directional. Any questions so far? I feel like that's the biggest benefits. It's the democratization of the data. Plus, the consistent structure, consistent convention naming or naming conventions make the scalability much, much easier, faster and smoother and easier. Again, this is like per ISA 95 and IEC 2264. Okay, we are transitioning from the pyramid model to the brokered or the centered one, using the semantic hierarchy. And
seems to resemble ISA 88's batch naming convention.
the patch.
That maybe loosely used off of that. I don't know if you know anyone familiar with it.
Dies.
95 I use for stratified networks and know the traffic layer, the data distribution layer.
Okay.
But for naming, we step out of that because you got name conflicts, right? Which is what you're kind of explaining. So now you're trying to centralize the naming to be agnostic to the tree, to say no, it's specific to who's calling for it at what layer. So that would be your more of an S88 naming or whoever you're following, which just organizes information. It's used in batch processing, but it says, look, there's an enterprise side area, line cell, and even
Function.
module, control module.
Function, yep.
Yeah.
They call it function.
So follow that in your naming schema, rather than what layer you're operating from.
Exactly.
Is this what that entails or is following?
Yeah, exactly. That's give you like, they call it the semantic hierarchy, and you can help me here, Pierre. So the semantic hierarchy comes from the ISA 95, and it's using this. It doesn't dictate to be this. There is another IEC 62-2064, but this is like, because it looks like your business. So it has the enterprise, the site. So it's like kind of the logical, semantically.
So one enterprise, multi-sites, within
Exactly.
a site, multi-areas, within an area, multi-lines, within a line, multi-cells.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then underneath those could be the definition of functions,
Yeah.
and organization and namespace.
Exactly, and I think he's going to build out
Okay.
the different types of namespaces at each layer, right? I think right now it's showing functional, but is your slide going to show the other two, maybe?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
under
Yeah,
each.
informational.
So this is represents the semantic, the enterprise site area line cell function. This is the hierarchy. Under each one, you have different namespaces, for the functional, the informational, and also the definitional. Those kind of namespaces, descriptive, and functional, and informative. And we will go through this, but the semantic is the foundation of the hierarchy, the structure, as we just mentioned. The descriptive is we call it sometimes the metadata or the static data information, assets name, ID locations, the manufacturer information. Okay, the functional is like the real value that coming from the field. Okay, the informative, anything that you calculated and on top of the real value. For example, the MES, the OEE, this, and the transactional, the dashboards, and so on and so on. So that's this will take us through the key concept for the refined namespace. Questions? Any? Okay. Go ahead, Pierre.
Oh, I'm not familiar with ISA 88, so I couldn't really speak to your question there.
So when I look at namespaces, is that each one of these have a hierarchy below each one of them? Is that how or is these all layers within that first model?
Yeah, they're layers within, so ostensibly you have subcategories. So within the enterprise layer, you have a functional names, a subcategory, a subset of data that qualifies as
defines
functional.
that enterprise element.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
And you would do that over again for the next enterprise
Yeah.
element.
Exactly.
And then
So
same for site and fire.
each
Exactly.
layer in the organizational structure has these 3 subsets of data, these sub namespaces essentially.
The unique elements of that instance.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
It might
Yep.
help if, I don't know if you have an example specifically in your
It is
PowerPoint.
basically the topic, you define the topic based on that, right? In the UNS, correct?
The MQTT topic or?
Yeah, when you
Okay.
publish it, people,
Huh.
we need to follow that sequence. That's the way I think it has been defined, each topic, so that anybody can publish it and anybody can subscribe. I believe so. I don't know.
This can be, but this is like more on the application side. It's not related to the MQTT. So this is how you look at your systems in general. Okay, how to what steps you need to take for the unified namespace. Okay, to be applied for unified namespace. This is kind of hierarchy, and the consistent naming. This is the 2 things. So here is defining the hierarchy as a semantic or the ISA 95 as an enterprise site area line, and give you the subsets that you put your data, defining the subsets that with each instance of those, you need to define the functional data. You need to define the information. So it's kind of giving you the template or the bigger, template that applied for all the instances. Then you can publish it to MQTT, use it with OPC UA server. Okay, yeah. I'm going backwards. So again, this is the hierarchy. We are using semantic hierarchy, or the common one is the semantic hierarchy. Descriptive namespace to have the example or the asset name and ID location and the static data. Functional is the live data, the change overall, data ingress and role consumption. Structural data so the informative is the transactional or whatever you calculated, and you need to add more like dashboards or training data or transactions. Some people refers to the unified namespace as a software stack or offering, and some people use it as just the server or the hub that having the unified namespace within. You can find this one and this one, either the architecture or the software offer, and sometimes they call it data ops software as well. The real benefits of the unified namespace, and maybe we can go the example because this is going too fast. It helps really with the scalability. For example, during Prove it was easy for us to create a new site, complete replica site with a CSV file, because we have the naming convention and the structure consistent. So it was just about matter of changing the name of the site. So instead of Dallas, I said will be, or Prove it in Dallas, I said will be AVEVA site, and through CSV file, import, and you have the exact replica. Then you massage some of the scripts or calculations, and you have a totally different site. And maybe we will go through the example. Normalization, comes handy with once you apply the concept, you will have, it's like per asset. So the asset is your entry key, and all the other data is coming along. Functional, descriptive, informative, and so on and so forth. But your entry is like an asset. So you don't know, you don't have any more, fragmented data all over or siloed data. So whatever your asset, what is the data required with? Is it a real value? What is the MES? And so on and so forth. Time to value, again, the same example that I mentioned about creating a whole new site because of the consistency of the hierarchy and the consistency of the naming convention. Creating a new site was like really couple of hours for system platform to have this site and even publishing its data to the broker again. Actually, I should have the example of from the other one here.
Of the broker.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can show it out.
Steal the
Yeah.
slide.
Yeah, yeah. And for sure, security. When you know when you are consistent, you will know, and you go by asset, so you will be able to exactly, give access to the right persona. Okay, and to which asset exactly. So that's the benefits. Plus, recently, some trends saying that it's essential for AI, because some AIs without, have a solid or consistent naming convention and hierarchy, maybe will give some hallucination.
Right, because it allows you to curate the data set for AI specifically as well to optimize the results.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like when you train the AI, okay, if no consistency, it will take much effort to train it.
Chasing the inconsistency and not the differences in like measures, right?
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
mean, also,
And normalization's, yeah, that's the big, I was just at AI world, and that's the big trick, right? It's got to have a relevance column, and it's got to have a uniqueness value, so it can sort through the data to come up with the most pertinent data, and then deep dive it. Otherwise, your engine's spinning off the wheels. Also, guardrails in your design to keep it from hallucinating. The term I think is funny, but yeah, extrapolating a result because of lack of data, it'll make up something that it thinks is close, which could be very far.
exactly.
Yeah.
And it could be dangerous.
Yeah, exactly.
And completely fabricated.
And I think the key they drove home there was, if you get a model and it's wrong, who's at fault? The model or the person?
Right.
It's always the person.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
they're always
blame on the
responsible for AI's results. So.
Yeah, but then, and taking a step further, because I don't think this was mentioned, but not only does it curate the data set for the AI, but it also allows the AI operator to have an easier time with the prompt engineering as well.
Yeah.
Because if the operator knows the semantic hierarchy, he can ask the AI curated questions,
Poignant.
right, that are much more pointed. Tell me the temperature sensor of this asset, of this site, of this slide, right?
Exactly.
You can, at that point, optimize
We're
the
used
Yeah.
at this site level for this, and then it can give you like results instead of grabbing some arbitrary value that's a measure but not of the same type.
Exactly.
Or further, use my address or my location and find me the temperature, asset in my facility, and yeah.
Less in the scripting to get to that is the question in mind. Yeah.
Yep. Thank you, sir, for this input.
No.
Yep. And for this session, I included like one simple example of how the unified namespace usually looks like architecture-wise. So you have here the MQTT broker. Usually, or commonly, what we've seen so far, that the unified namespace is either hosted in MQTT broker or OPC UA server, okay, to give the accessibility and be reachable or access for all the other systems. How you do it in system platform is you connecting through MQTT, OI server, the MQTT driver, okay, passing this data to the application server through PCS or DIs, whatever works for you, but PCS is like from 2026 will be faster, and then store it to historian and do the OMI. So that's a very simple thing. On the other hand here, or on the other side, maybe ERP system will be connected, maybe CRM system will be connected, maybe all the business and the IT systems can be connected from this side. This is the bridge between the OT and the IT side. Here is, where is the MQTT broker falls, or the unified namespace. The biggest benefit is like to be a bridge without security issues between the two worlds. Question? Do you like the architecture?
Yeah, this one's actually really elaborative. This one,
Oh, okay. I think I need to add, like ERP and CRM here, or any example of IT, like inputs to the MQTT, because this is.
like it's the bridge between the IT and OT.
IT-OT convergence
Yep.
happens at the UNS.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep. Or sometimes they call it the enterprise and the control systems. So either IT, OT, or
Yeah.
yeah.
Let's say you're propagating the namespace then across to match up with each one of the layers of presentation. So you're going to get through application server following the same data structure so that it flows straight through. Is that what you're depicting? You get
Yeah.
checklist libraries, vendors protocols, that's your connect. And I always thought, so I thought the connect to ERP and all that happened at connect and different tools through it. But you're gonna go and use the MQTT broker for ERP calls and all that fun stuff.
That I had the same question, by the way, to connect product management. Yep. So the unified namespace, it resides here. So it may be, connect our cloud,
Yeah.
or maybe like what we did improve it, we find it HiveMQ, and also prove it as well, provide it as a OPC UA server. So as long as you're holding the contained name, the consistent naming convention and the hierarchy, somewhere normalizing it.
UA structure there.
So that will be the unified namespace. Sometimes I'm thinking that application server, as a product manager for application server, we can play as a unified namespace if you are not into the IT world. It's like heavily, sorry. If you're just using REST API, okay, it can work. It can work for you.
I believe you mentioned this is majorly or mostly for like current values, and it just keeps kind of like a database for what we have right now, and it's just like for what's happening at the moment, right? It doesn't know, or it has no link to the historian, or cannot talk or fetch or analyze or.
You're talking about the unified namespace hub?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
Like
it doesn't hold.
directly
Yeah.
Talking to the communication drivers, and also I believe you mentioned that it's for like current values. You can just go and see what's happening at the moment.
Yep.
Right.
No storing.
That's why you
Yeah.
want that to pass through, because wherever you're collecting there, you want it to come out of your application server through your engine link and populate into your historian. And therefore, the same name link you're going to fish out of historian matches what you're putting away or collecting in MQTT.
Okay.
That's why I was asking. You got to then propagate that structure. So if that's the server, right? So
Yeah.
that's
This is
the owner. Then I need to follow it going this way. Application server, you're going to follow what data structure I'm pulling across. So my data comes in and flows up, and then a historian follows that.
Yeah, and he's
The
going to
tags
talk
come
about
from it,
that.
right? The names coming in
Yeah.
through
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Productivity
Yeah,
tool does that.
So-
later slide.
yeah.
Ah,
Maybe this is, that to recap, the unified namespace server holds the hierarchy. He's the owner of the hierarchy. He's the one who's like distributing for all the systems or sharing with all the systems. This is the hierarchy. It can be the MQTT broker. It can be the OPC UA server. It can be application server sometimes. It can be Connect.
Or you can publish a pie or whatever.
A
You can
pie.
set it up, 'cause
Yep.
it's going to be it'll be a common naming structure that you can
Yeah.
then apply.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
But then, yeah, it's current value, right? So it just holds the current value, doesn't store any of the data. There's no data repository
Yeah.
under the MQTT broker or anything else.
Makes sense. Okay.
Yep.
But under that namespace, I should be able to find it in historian if I flagged it for historical tracking.
Yes.
And that's where I would get my historian. My real data is coming in off MQTT, it's live.
Yeah.
I whatever pull rate. But if I'm storing that from, my OPC UA is publishing into my MQTT and I follow my name structure and then I create visuals off of it, I should also, and I need to store it, it's a data point I want to retrieve. That naming structure is going to pass through, and therefore I can either look at live data at this name or point at my SQL and I want historical trending off that same data namespace that follows. So then, a lot of times, and this is old school, but you used to have a runtime data structure out of historian and your historical, right?
Yeah.
So you go after runtime for the stuff that's going in, that's real time, as it can be. And then you'd say, well, no, I want to know something further back.
Yeah.
So pivot over to the historical data set, but it's the same name, just different time frame. In this case, it'd be either grabbing it as it comes in, live data, or then saying, oh, trend, you're going to point that same data, but I need you to go to the historian for it. Or Pi, I want to go ahead and publish this out so someone can play with some graphics and show this.
So
And
maybe.
you only have to create it once, I think. That's what I'm hoping for. I have to
We
create
don't-
this too many times. I want to do it once.
I was like looking for, we have, exactly what we was discussing right now, how is in the MQTT broker or the Unified Namespace server, and how it looks in the Galaxy. But I need to, to switch to the other, to the previous one. Yeah. So that's a very good input. Maybe next down the road I will do that. Oh, no. Yep. I want to go back, and maybe I will do it right now. Do you have the other slides? Or?
I think they're on there still, right?
Yep. Yeah, that's here. Yeah. Okay. I was looking. Yep. I think this one should does it. Yep, so as the video starts. Okay. So this is how it looks in the Unified Namespace, or this is, we're connected with the productivity tool, okay, to grab the Unified Namespace hierarchy, or the hierarchy that we need to replicate in our system platform or Galaxy. This is how it looks. I think the other video should be. Yep, this one will be much. And this is how we're publishing it. So if you can see here, the MQTT server or the MQTT Explorer showing the whole Unified Namespace with all the data in there. John already finished? Can I connect to the live demo?
I don't know.
Can you double check? But anyway, again, the hierarchy, as it's defined in the main Unified Namespace hub, okay, it's propagated to the all systems, because again, the definition or the normalization happens at the asset level. It's not their system, it's not their IT and OT, it's the asset level. Which asset you're talking about, what is the functional information needed, what is the descriptive for this asset, where the asset, what is the name, what is the manufacturer, which calculations related, okay, which CRM and ERP related to this.
You got translate your
Sorry. Thank you. Thank you. So, and I wish if we can, show the other demo here. This is the tool, but just, till we see if the demo we can connect to the live demo or not. The tool connects to the Unified Namespace, okay, and grab the hierarchy, or read the hierarchy. And based on this hierarchy, it start creating the Galaxy, the templates, and the instance inside the Galaxy, inside system platform. It's a great tool. The source code will be out soon in GitHub, okay, for you to either, if you see something missing, you can adjust it yourself through GitHub, okay, and use it if you are, implementing any Unified Namespace. The biggest thing is, like, you will find in the Unified Namespace a lot of tags, so it's labor heavy, so it's labor heavy, like to do it manually or to do it through CSV file. That's why we are coming with this tool onto the GitHub. So I can connect?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not in there.
The tool is connecting to OPC UA server, MQTT server as well, okay, and also give you the the publishing part, okay, to bulkily select, okay, I want to publish the whole model inside from within system platform without touching, the OI driver. Okay, this is the earliest version. The new version, or in 2026, the capabilities of the publishing will be in the OI driver. So in the OI driver, some customers came and asked, it's really painful, to select one by one. Okay, so in 2026, we are making it more user-friendly. more bulk select, more, okay, asking which one to be retentive or not. So that's will be included in the 2026, which next year. Any question before we go to live demo? So you're good? Okay. So we are hosting, we have the virtual machines and integration studio. Okay, so let me grab this one here first.
Which browser is that?
Brave.
browser?
Brave.
Right?
Yeah.
You guys are adopters, huh?
Okay, integration studio.
I didn't know about that.
Okay.
I saw it. I haven't used it.
I have.
I don't use that, so.
Guess he's the brave one.
Yeah. Pun intended.
I won't quit my day job. What's that?
Being brave makes you unsecure, or
Well, apparently it makes you secure.
It doesn't have any flows, and I use it just with very high level.
You don't need to type in or remember to type in S88
ACE80, okay.
and look at that structure and see the similarities.
Yeah.
That's the two I follow as guardrails kind of keep me, because it's the same thing about building out your naming convention,
Right.
so that you can replicate like devices or like structures in both, so starting from the enterprise on down.
Okay, so it's an ontology method as well.
It's a hierarchy. It's done in a batch, and historian, that's where I grabbed it for.
Okay, I see.
Because I struggle with putting the same data away and be able to get it out.
Yeah.
Which would be now with AI is, we did it for correlated, analytics, where you do regression, so you're trying to grab like data sources.
Yeah.
Naming's challenging, because then you're trying to poke in all these different names. But if you can group by and structure, then you can go pull out tons of data without writing every piece by piece.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So, yeah, it makes it easier also in Orchestra, because you want to be able to use the name of the object as in the me functionality, so that I can create a template and propagate it many, many, many times.
Right. So it scales up.
Yeah, and then I just sat through Mike's, GitHub stuff that he's got that builds out the tag name even easier now. But
Like Roast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His IO mapping.
Because we did it all in and we did it all in scripting, but we would use, string mid and then pick apart the name to get to the part that it functions, so I could make many of them.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I learned to make my motors M and an asset number,
Yeah.
and then always look for the asset number, and that's the tag name in the field.
Right. So you can
Okay.
dissect it and then
Really
build the
easy.
tags easy.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
you're making it, make it easy.
Yeah.
So on the right-hand side is the MQTT broker. Okay, this is MQTT Explorer. I'm connecting to the virtual factory that's been provided by Prove It conference. Okay, this acts as a unified namespace server or hub. Okay, it has all, as you see, enterprise, and there is plenty of other vendors. One of them is AVEVA, because we are one of the biggest publisher there. So AVEVA, Dallas is the Prove It one. We have Maintenix, Software Toolbox, Tulip. If you attended with John, like a couple of hours ago, he was going through the whole demo. But this is how the unified namespace looks like. On the right-hand side is the application. On the left-hand side is the application, the OMI application. Okay, as you can see, the hierarchy it's exactly the same, and it's coming from system platform. Okay. So you have AVEVA. We choose just to use two sites and show it graphically, AVEVA and Dallas, with the same exact, like you have bag, lamb, press, and everything there. So if you come here under bag, you will find some, lines. No, this is Dallas. Let's stick to AVEVA. For bag, you will find, this is the line called ELBA 7. And for breasts, you will find three lines, and each lines are identical. And each line have subset of data or sub namespace, which is called machine schedule or MQTT, and so on and so forth. Once you connect the productivity tool, it will automatically read the model, okay, programmatically, not automatically. I'm English as a second language, so bear with me. Programmatically, reading the model, going through a couple of iterations, making sure, to like get the template correct, okay, then doing the instances as well. Then you will have the backend or the galaxy of this application, which you will not need even, for the navigation part. There is no effort. Yeah. What is
model view of the system platform?
the model view? Yeah, inside, exactly. The model, it will be on the alias name will be assigned in a way that automatically the navigation will come this way.
Okay, yeah, I get it.
Okay. Maybe it will be helpful if I show the galaxy itself. I hope that will help me here. I'm going through a lot of machines, so again, bear with me. Where is the galaxy here? It's galaxy, SMC, edge. Yep. Okay, so here is the model. It looks like this. Prove it, OPC UA. Under enterprise, you will find even, I created, someone created, I think John, created a site with my name.
You yourself are
So there is a site called Ahmed. I wish, I'll be richer, And AVEVA and Dallas. Okay. And under Dallas or AVEVA, you'll find the exact thing that we found in the MQTT Explorer. With that, I think we can jump to the questions, or if you have questions to Pierre. And thank you so much. This was the unified namespace, like concept and what is the tool is about. Again, the source code for the tool will be soon on GitHub, which is a matter of weeks or 1 month max. And that's it. But it will not have the publishing part. The publishing part will come in 2026 OI driver.
That's what I want.
What is it?
2026.
20.
I'll put it on my Christmas.
Okay.
Is that a first quarter release, or you don't know yet? It's just in 2026, or
It looks like it will not be before June.
the second?
Yeah. Yep.
Almost there.
Yep.
That's good.
Perfect, thank you so much. Yeah, I guess we'll
Thank-
have better questions when we start using it. Right now, we're still in the phase of.
Sure. We will.
Probably like next year, maybe we can come back again and have a better discussion maybe. But this was actually very informative also today. And yeah, you guys are doing a great job with this, and
Thank you so much.
for explaining to us.
We will happy to help anyway. Thank you so much for showing up and coming to us, and let us know if there is any question.
Yeah.
Really, me and Ernst and Pierre and Jake, all portfolio team.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.